Welcome back to the madness, which is revisiting Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Trials and Tribulations. Otherwise known as the Steam version. The Steam version. Last time, remember, we were in the middle of the conclusion to this trial, and we have reached the second half, in which we're going to take the trial over to Canada. So, without further ado, let's get a conviction, shall we? October 14th, 12:14 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 4.
My sis?
I could have sworn I heard Mia's voice.
But she's still alive. Inside your heart. Nicky boy! Oh, Mr. Wright. Is it true that detective is the real killer?
To be honest, we don't have any definite proof. But he's the only one who could have done it.
But wasn't he at Lord Taylor that night? And as mentioned, we don't exactly know his motive. I mean, why would Detective Atney want to kill King Ballard?
Oh, it's almost time. Better get back to the courtroom. We need to find some sort of proof. And it's gotta happen sooner rather than later. Later that day, 7 minutes after, 10 or so, we don't know. We thought we were going Canadian, but we're going U.S. And now then, this calls us back. Mr. Luke ATMEY, please take the stand. Well, how do you do, sir, lawyer?
I never would have thought to see you acting so recklessly.
I can let them hand down your verdict just yet. Not when it would have given you your perfect alibi. An alibi by the name of Mask de Mask.
I'm sorry. I'm afraid even the great Luke ATMEY has no idea what you mean. Of course, I have been in the next courtroom ever since 10 o'clock this morning. I'm afraid there's no way I could know what's been going on in here.
You've been in the defendant's seat all day long. Correct? Excuse me, let me do that again. You've been in the defendant's seat all day long, correct? Being tried as Master Moss? Indeed. It's truly child's play to fool the ignorant mouses. Not only did the poor fools ask me to protect their valuables,
They even gave me a generous reward upon returning their own property to them. Take this red diamond ring that sparkles upon my divine finger, for example. So you continue to insist that you are, in fact, Master Mask? Of course.
Very well then, look at me. Let's begin with this simple question. On October 12th at 1 a.m., Cain Ballard was murdered. Where were you at that time?
One without knowledge lacks even the knowledge that he should be ashamed of himself. But don't worry, I will not hold it against you, Sir Judge.
Thanks. Order up! This is number 10. Alright. Mr. ATMEY, the night of the murder. Speak. We're all ears.
As you wish, Sir Prosecutor.
The alibi.
I was stealing the honors, Master Mask, just as I announced I would. I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a perfectly easy job. A photograph contains no words, but in this case, one turned out to be my witness. The time at which the camera captured Master Moss was the same time as the murder.
It seems the main point of discussion will be this photo of the crime scene. Everything else up until now was all part of his plan. There has to be a secret to this picture as well.
Even the great Master Moss cannot be in two places at once. Now then, if you excuse me, I have a verdict to receive. Unfortunately, Mr. ATMEY, we still have to do your cross-examination. A fool is too foolish to know that he is a fool.
Dude! You're calling for karma, aren't you? Dude. How dare you! How dare you! She's not even in this game.
I think he's trying to say that you're full of it, Nick.
The only thing that's full of it is his alibi. Okay. So this photograph is the proof, correct?
Indeed it is. And the man in the photo is certainly wearing a mask. That is why I am called Mas de Masque.
But conveniently, that also means there is no way to tell who this really is. What do you mean? Are you saying that this is not intact? Look at me. That it could be an accomplice dressed up as Mas de Masque to create an alibi. What an interesting idea.
Are you saying that I, Lone Wolf Luke, had an accomplice?
Give it up. If Look At Me was activity security during the murder, then the Mas de Masque in this picture has to be fake.
So there really was an accomplice?
But right now,
I have no idea who it was. I don't have any idea right now either.
faceless objections are just what that guy wants. There's got to be another way. And I'm going to find it. I believe Adrian Andrews hired you at one point.
That's right. That was over 20 days ago, if I'm not mistaken.
You sent a calling card to Lord Taylor 10 days before the heist. That would mean you sent out the card after you began your security watch, right?
Indeed, there was no reason why I couldn't do those jobs at once.
It was the perfect opportunity to steal my latest target. I see. You truly are evil, aren't you?
Yes, evil is what I am. Hey, Nick, isn't there something odd about this? Detective ATMEY was always proud of his ace detective skills, right? But if the urn was stolen from Lord Taylor while he was the only one watching it, he had no way to maintain his perfect ace detective persona.
You know, that's true. It is kind of odd. So by photograph, you mean this So by photograph, you mean this piece of evidence here. Is that correct?
Indeed, it is. That is it. The very thing that proves I committed the crime.
The very thing that proves you committed the crime. What do you think about it? It's really good. say that almost as if you had this picture taken on purpose. He was simply caught by the very camera that he had set off. We all have days like that.
Indeed. It turned out that there was no such thing as the perfect crime after all. Life is truly an ironic thing. A sad, blue melody.
It looks like I better gather more information for now. If he's truly the killer, there's got to be something phony in that photo. About the camera that took this photograph.
Oh, come now. It's all too clear what you're thinking.
Huh?
You think I altered the timestamp on the photograph, don't you?
I'm afraid that's impossible. The camera was set up by Lord Taylor. And on top of that, it was Lord Taylor's staff that printed that picture's data. Unfortunately for the defense, there's no way that picture could have been altered. I see. It looks like I better find something else that could be suspicious.
So, this alibi is false?
It has to be. Or he couldn't have killed Mr. Bullard at KB Security.
But I'm not really spotting anything unusual.
There are two possibilities. Either the mask in the photo is a fake, or the photo itself is. By photograph, you mean this piece of evidence here. Is that correct? The very thing that proves you committed the crime. Said even you understand by now.
Not me, Taylor provided that camera. There's no way I could have tampered with it. That means I could not have killed Cain below, unless I had an accomplice.
Long and hard about that. Basement warehouse and this picture that supposedly captures it. It's got to be here. Isn't there something funny about this picture? You bet there is.
Are you implying that this picture is a fake?
You bet I am. There's definitely something strange about this picture. We took a look around the basement warehouse that night before the theft took place. And there's something in this photo that doesn't match my memory of that night. There you have it. Let's hear what you have to say. What about this photograph do you find funny? I'm looking dead at it. It's right here. The funny part is right here. Why, this is a blood stain. Ah, blood! Now this case is getting interesting. Not exactly. This stain is actually pink paint. Oh, just paint. And peach colored at that. From blood to peaches. The judge sure loves going on his wild tangents. The problem with this photograph is not the paint. The problem is when you consider the layout of the basement warehouse. It turns out that something that should be there is nowhere to be seen. Well, Mr. Wright, what is supposed to be in this picture instead of the paint stains? That the supervisor of the treasure exhibit stated the following.
Well, there's a good reason for that. On the day of the crime, around noon, that golden statue just happened to arrive from the mountain training hall. I realized that the statue would be the perfect size for covering up the paint stain. That's why I put it where you first saw it.
I myself was there the night the theft took place. And saw the statue in the spot. If this picture was truly taken on that night, then that statue should have been there. Objection. But when I went there the day after the theft, that statue of the old bag was sitting in the corner. That statue of the old bag was sitting in the corner. Perhaps it was somehow pushed on, didn't it? Your Honor, this statue is slightly larger than yourself and quite heavy. It would take more than an accidental push to move it that distance. Huh. In that case, can you prove it? Can you give us the rhyme and reason as to what as to why that statue was moved that night.
Can you do it?
Never mind who moved it. The real question is, why did they move it? Well, Mr. Wright, I hope you are prepared with your answers. Now then, who was the one that moved the golden statue on the night of the crime? I know who. The douchebag sitting in the stand. The one who moved the statue is none other than Luke ATMEY. Come now, Salaya. There you go again on one of your strange delusions. Mr. Wright, what basis do you have for your strange delusions? It's very simple. The witness was the only one in the basement warehouse that night. That is indeed very simple. However, why would I want to move a heavy golden statue? The reason for moving the golden statue, here's where our battle really begins. Well, Mr. Ryan, what reason did the witness have to move that statue? The reason can be found here in this photograph. Look at me, you pretended to be Master Mask. To create an alibi by showing you were at Lordly Taylor that night. But this photograph contains a single fatal flaw. If the statue had been there, your lie would be exposed like cheap film at a drugstore. We're talking about Walmart. That is why you had to move the statue. A single fatal flaw. Interesting. Yes. Please enlighten us. Just where in this picture does this lie exist? I'm looking at it again, man. Right here. You don't see it? That's right here. Look at the time! Naturally, the line in this photo is the timestamp. What do you mean? I'll tell you exactly what I mean. On the night in question, Luke ATMEY went to KB Security and murdered Kane Ballard. Therefore, it's obvious it would have been impossible for him to be at Lordly Taylor at this time. But what does that have to do with the statue being moved? Remember, if you will, Your Honor, when was this statue placed beside the warehouse door? Well, the statue was taken down to the warehouse on the day of the crime. And and it was placed there in order to cover the paint.
Exactly.
Look at Me had already decided on the time when he was going to kill the victim. And so, in order to create an alibi for that time, he took this picture days before the murder took place. What the? Of course, the statue hadn't been brought down to the basement warehouse yet. Oh. So, on the day of the crime, Mr. ATMEY must have been quite nervous. As nervous as a long-tailed cat in a rocking chair factory, so to speak. I'm not going to even question that one, man. I'm just going to double down on that one. Why? Because something that wasn't supposed to be there had been brought down and placed where it wasn't supposed to be. And that is why Luke ATMEY had to move the statue on the night of the murder. He did it to make the room match with the way it had been in his photo. Gah! Order! Mr. ATMEY, is this true? One moment, Your Honor. Have you forgotten this? What's that? The data for the basement warehouse computer. According to this, the camera did indeed go off on the night of the crime. It's true that the camera had been set up by the Lordly Taylor staff. However, the program used to manage that data was yours. That alone would have allowed you to tamper with the data. Order! Mr. Godoto! Order to me in this! Godoto! I warned you about making me wait! Now put that coffee down! However, the defense has a very good point. A good point. So what? We are all a traveler on a road of infinite points.
I think he's got his points mixed up with his other points.
So you say this photograph was taken ahead of time, and that the statue was moved in order to make it match. That's a very interesting idea, however. There's
never reach their dreams.
That's very true.
No way! Don't fall for that, Your Honor! Hey, Mr. Damask.
Yes?
If there's no funny business in your actions as Master Mask, there should be no problem with you telling us your strategy. So let's hear it. Yes, please provide this court with your testimony about your plan to steal the sacred urn.
Here we go. Number 2.
I first received a request from Lord Taylor about 20 days ago. The urn was placed in a box, and it was then sent to the warehouse. And I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure, so I sent my call 10 days before home. I had handled security by myself to ensure that my crime would go smoothly. At last, I held the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 a.m. on October 10th. That's pretty much all stuff we've heard before, isn't it?
Yeah. But we will find the truth hidden in the nuggets of new information he gave.
Witness, you're sure there are no mistakes this time?
The body!
Very well then, Mr. Wright. You may begin your cross-examination.
Somebody! Yokaro! So, you're sure that you had never seen the urn before?
Indeed. You may ask Lady Andrews to confirm for yourself. My security was focused entirely on the entrance to that warehouse. However, I look at me. Let no information whatsoever slip through my fingers.
So, my friend, are you saying... You're saying this? Set before our eyes, the emblem is top secret. And to that I say... Yeti! Mr. ATMEY, if you really are Master Mask, then you also wrote this calling card
correct? But of course. Is there a problem with that calling card? Allow me to read a passage from the calling card that Master Mask had written. Take good care of the speckled urn. Now, the speckled here surely refers to this pink pattern on the sacred urn. Yes, that is true. But so what? Truth be told, there's no way that Master Maz could have known about this pattern. What do you mean? This pink spotted pattern on the urn is actually nothing more than paint stains. Stains? And these stains did not appear until after the urn had been taken to Lordly Taylor. I'm not finding this joke to be very funny, Mr. Wright. The day that the sacred urn was taken to the warehouse, the urn was broken due to human error, or should I say, an error-prone human. And that's when the pink paint got on the urn. You can't be serious! And yet this calling card clearly mentions the paint pattern. Which means Detective ATMEY had seen this urn long before the crime ever took place. In fact, he saw it when this fake photo was taken. And because of this photo is a fake, your alibi for the night of the murder no longer holds water. Witness, do you have anything to say for yourself? Alright, that did it. He's broken. Nick, I think it's still a little early for a victory pose. Huh? 15. It's so sad. No one has any conviction these days. Conviction, you say? Yesterday, we all decided on anonymity. That's right. Let me read that again. Yesterday, we all decided on anonymity that this man was not wrong. And now, we're calling him a murderer.
That's a good point.
No way! Don't vote for that too, Your Honor!
You say that Luke ATMEY was the one who killed. Read that again. You say that Luke ATMEY was the one who killed Cain Blood. Then let me ask you this. Why would you do
An excellent point. Motive, Mr. Wright. Motive. My Mary murder's motive manifest. Nick! He's getting his second wind!
If he prepared an alibi and pinned his crime on Rondelite, as you said, he must have had a very strong motive for murder. The only one who with a motive we see is Rondelite. Isn't that right, detective?
Indeed. According to my own research, the boy's motive is clear. Without a motive, it's nearly impossible to prove guilt in a murder case. Now then, maybe you can enlighten us as to what the defendant's motives were. I'd be honored to, Sir Oldtimer. They're doing everything they can to make Ron look suspicious. Despite her lack of hard information, this may be our only chance.
Motive for murder.
I, Luke ATMEY, had no points of contact with the victim whatsoever. Cain Blood decided to investigate Master Mars and simply mistook who he was. It was Mr. Bullard who wrote the blackmail letter and sent it to Ron Delight. And it was again Mr. Bullard who harbored a grudge against Mr. Delight for his betrayal. Mr. Bullard's mistake is quite excusable. The defendant truly believes he is Master Mars. That is why Mr. Delight saw fit to kill Cain Bullard. Truly a tragedy.
So the victim, Cain Bullard, blackmailed the defendant. This is the blackmail letter found at the defendant's apartment. A handwriting test confirms that Mr. Bullard was indeed the one who wrote the letter. What? And we got an updated version of the letter. There you go, Mr. Wright. Begin your cross-examination. Your cuddle. mistook.
That's right. Miss Cook. From the Old Norse mistaka, meaning to take in error.
That wasn't what I meant. Just who did the victim mistake Master Mars to be?
Why, the answer's all this. Ron Delight, of course.
Boy, I'd love to wipe that smoke look off that guy's face. Harder. Why would the victim mistake the defendant for Master Mask?
Don't you already know that? Take a look at this newspaper.
That's the famous Tribulations. Magnificent jewelry.
That photo shows a magnificent detective as well, does it not? Furthermore, it also shows an ugly god, namely the defendant.
The defendant?
The victim clearly misread this article and he got the wrong impression. The impression that this ugly security guard was in fact Master Mars.
I see.
That wasn't an usually reasonable deduction.
You mean this blackmail letter right here? It says bring $50,000. And the handwriting is, without a doubt, the victim? There's a mistake. We have an official report. But I don't see an addressee on this letter anywhere.
Addressee. This letter was discovered in Ron Delight's apartment. And Mr. Delight did show up at the designated place and time. The fact that there is no addressee is irrelevant. What's up, Nick?
I just had a thought. What if that blackmail letter wasn't meant for Mr. Delight?
Oh. Do you have any evidence of that?
For some reason, I just can't shake the feeling. There's something not quite right about this blackmail letter.
Well, everyone, are you quite satisfied?
What do you mean by that?
Oh my, I was certain you were already aware. AB Security has a lot of security info on all sorts of companies. And since I was a security team chief, I stole data from the company. Kane Bullard had yet to forgive young Mr. Delight, which is why he sent him that letter upon mistakenly believing he was the thief.
Here is the file that we discovered in Mr. Bullard's office. Evidence that Mr. Bullard was receiving money through blackmail. However, isn't it a bit odd? Why did the defendant pay Mr. Bullard the money? Even though he wasn't actually mastermind.
On that point, there was an unfortunate bit of chance.
Do you really think that story's going to hold up?
That assertion is not merely my own, I'm afraid.
What do you mean?
I have your memo one like white. Get right. 15. Ronnie thinks he's Master Mars. Don't you feel sorry for him? Please don't think too badly of him.
Well, Mr. Wright.
Oh! Was he trying to act like Mr. Light just now? I thought it was actually pretty convincing.
Really, Maya?
That is why Mr.
Now that's just your imagination, Tom.
Come now, Soloya. I'm afraid imagination isn't the right word for it. This is a deduction, the result of carefully applied reasoning.
Can we hear that careful reasoning, Lordship?
It's a long story, and
That's a shame for another time. Another time. Those so-called long stories aren't usually all that long. At least not in my experience.
so you're going to try to connect Detective ATMEY to Mr. Bullard, right?
Yeah, that's right. Hopefully it won't require a search react.
In that case, you'll have to talk about the blackmail.
That's true. What's that blackmail letter really intended for?
If we don't have enough information, you should press him for more testimony.
Maybe I'll be able to shake some contradictions loose that way. Yay! Mind if I ask you a few questions, Detective ATMEY?
Well, if it's just a few, I guess it's alright.
When you said that this letter was addressed to Ron Delight, I couldn't help but notice one major contradiction.
A contradiction?
I don't know where walking contradiction like you gets off saying things like that.
You're one to talk!
At times like these, men are made to express themselves with their fists. Why don't you show us what you got there, Junior? Indeed! It's time to man up, Mr. Wright. Show us the contradicting evidence in the content of the blackmail letter. Well, it's not here. It's here. Today? Take a good look at this newspaper clipping. It contains a picture of the tear of Amanon, the stolen jewel. What about it? The problem is this jewel's color. I'm not much for discussing colors myself. According to the clipping, the color of the stolen jewel was blue. However, in the blackmail letter, a totally different jewel is mentioned. I'll take that red diamond you received the other day. Which means the red diamond described in the blackmail letter is not the tear of Amanon that Master Demas stole at all. Son of a bitch been wearing it all the time.
And your point is, Mr. Tribulations. So you are trying to say that this blackmail letter was intended for someone else. So that is what you're trying to say, right, Tribulations? That is what you're trying to say? Right, Mr. Wright?
Well, that is what you're trying to say? Right, Nick?
Yes!
This is who Kane Ballard was actually blackmailing. He was this douchebag! Naturally. It was you, Detective ATMEY!
Do you have some sort of basis for that claim?
You have been personally involved in every single Master Demas case. And in the last case, You recovered what was stolen and received a jewel as your reward. A jewel? Probably the one wrapped conspicuously around your finger. That red diamond ring! That is the diamond referred to in the letter. Which means that King Ballard wrote that letter in order to blackmail you! Ah! Order in the court! What did I say? 15. You've gone too far with your childish faith. Mr. Traitor. I don't like the way he said that. King Ballard, blackmailing the Catholics. Are you afraid? Yes, I am.
Nick, come on, stand up to him!
Then yes. The blackmail letter contains the following passage. If you don't want your identity revealed to the world. Yes, it certainly does. Identity he wanted to keep a secret. So what? So just what was that identity?
ATMEY killed King Ballard because he was afraid of his secret becoming known. What was the identity he wanted to keep secret?
This is what it all comes down to, Nick.
The identity that Luke ATMEY wanted to so desperately keep secret was his identity as blackmail. Luke ATMEY was a blackmailer. Hey now, isn't that a little different from what you've been saying? You said that King Ballard was the one blackmailing Luke ATMEY. Are you saying that ATMEY was blackmailing someone else on top of that?
You have to admit, that does sound a little odd.
It's not odd. It's the only thing that makes any sense. King Ballard was blackmailing Luke ATMEY. But Ron DeLite was also being blackmailed by a certain someone. So, did you start receiving blackmail letters after this incident?
Yes. Just a few days after the Tear of Ammonon heist. After that, I started getting the plans in the mail. I received plans from some very kind person. Incredibly detailed plans.
Detailed plans. In which case, that would mean that Ron Delight was actually Master Mosh.
That is what we are claiming.
Someone else came up with the plan and had Mr. Delight steal his target for him. And that someone was none other than Luke ATMEY.
Silence! Now I see. It's all becoming clear. I need chapstick. What is? When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Careless, with the tendency to jump to conclusions. Am I wrong? How did you... You say that I, Luke ATMEY, was blackmailing Ron Delight. In which case, I would naturally know all about his relation to Master Moore.
Well, yes.
Ron Delight started receiving plans from his second crime onward, correct? Which means I learned of his identity when he committed that first crime.
Good point. You certainly couldn't have blackmailed him otherwise. Sexton.
Let's see some hot bitter evidence.
During the first crime, how did Luke ATMEY know that Ron Delight was Master Mosh? Well,
This is how I did.
I think I see it.
See what?
When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Get into lots of mischief trying to be the center of attention.
What did you make? What did you get?
Yes. This newspaper clipping it has a picture of you and Ron Delight in his guard uniform. It seems that Master Moss didn't just disappear into thin air. He just took off his outfit and hid it in a bucket.
That sounds far too stupid to be true.
Correct. With tricks like that, he couldn't fool a baby, let alone an ace detective. And that's when you figured it out, Mr. ATMEY. That's when you learned that under his mask was really Ron Delight.
What is he supposed to be, Master Mouse?
sly blackmailer!
I'm trying to pass himself off as an ace kick.
His face is scared into shit! Why, you! How dare you expose me as fuck! Why, I mean, I've never blackmailed anyone in my life! I'm a famous and proud race detective, and I'm also most.
Why can't you understand that?
I'm afraid you're neither a proud thief nor an ace detective. You're a blackmailer and a murderer. That is your true identity! Whoa, what? Shoot!
How dare you come every day of this something? Why not try to do something? You're a champion, those big mouths are yours! You're big fools! And I said, none of you can compare to my genius! You're the genius! You're so good! You're so crazy! Come with me! You're coming to do it! They can tell you kind of little blackmail, man after it! I'll get away with it! You said now to make one love! I am the biggest slave out!
Thank you. Thank you. It was Jim when finally arrived at the real answer.
That was quite a performance by you, Mr. ATMEY.
Very much. Native, please prepare yourself for Mr. ATMEY.
Objection!
I agree. $17. The hammer that strikes the past has no time to think. What do you mean? I'm already prepared to deliver my ruling. Allow me to say one thing. I will be the one to judge.
You don't get much more in your face than that.
It appears that your claws were quite sharp, Mr. Wright. What? It's true that you've proven a lot of things. Things like Luke Atmey was a filthy blackmailer, and that he wasn't at Lordly Taylor the night of the murder. Excuse me. That's right. That's why he's the one who killed Mr. Boot. But there's still one thing you haven't yet proved. What's that? Just because he wasn't at the warehouse doesn't mean he was at the burger scene.
Therefore, if you can't prove that this pitiful sheet for a man was at AB then I don't see how a verdict can be delivered. No. No way!
Order in the court. Well, Mr. Wright? This is it. This is the final round.
I've got to prove that ATMEY was at Mr. Bullard's office on that night.
But can you really prove that?
That's long enough. Mr. Tribulations, I want to hear your answer. That night, Luke ATMEY was at KB Security, and the defense can prove it.
No, actually, that night Luke ATMEY was at security, was at KB Security, and the defense can't prove it.
I can't prove it.
Yes, as I thought. But if we hear more of Detective ATMEY's testimony,
Objection!
unfortunately, that's as far as you go, Mr. Wright. What do you mean? I won't allow for any more testimony. That's what I mean. What? Have you forgotten? Luke ATMEY is here after we interrupted his own trial. And you have failed to prove that he committed the murder. I think it's time for this to return to his own trial and face his guilty verdict as mastermind. No!
Well now, Sir Lawyer, it seems that love wins out in the end after all. I am the ace detective, as well as Master Mask. My verdict will verify that. Just as Ron Delight will verify that he is the true murderer. I declare that with the full force of my ace detectiveness.
Order on the court! That's enough deliberation over this witness.
I can't believe this.
This is straight, honest.
Don't give about it. We still have tomorrow. We can look for more evidence and...
By then, it'll be too late.
Huh? Why?
Double jeopardy. One of the basic rules of any court of law.
Double jeopardy?
Should a defendant be tried and found innocent in court, that defendant cannot be tried again for the same crime. This is a fundamental rule of all courts. And it applies to this witness as much as it applies to anyone else. Miss Ashley will be found guilty in a matter of minutes. Guilty as lost which means he will be innocent as far as the murder of Cain Ballard is concerned.
No way.
The fact that you were unable to prove Mr. ATMEY's guilt of that crime here means that he will never again be tried as Cain Ballard's murderer. There's nothing I can possibly do to win. Even if Ron is proclaimed to be innocent, the real killer Luke ATMEY will go free. You have cross-examined every statement the witness has made here. And as long as there is no more testimony, I'm afraid I have to declare that there will be no further questioning of this witness. Are there any objections? Then I hereby end the cross-examination of Luke ATMEY.
I think I see it. Your Honor, when you were a child, this is what was on your report card every year. Has poor hearing and often makes mistakes as a result. Naruhodo-kun, raise your head up high. Have you forgotten what I used to tell you? A lawyer is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets. Hi, Chief. Long time to see, Naruhodo-kun.
But right now, she's my mentor.
Now, let's do this. But there's nothing more we can do, Mia! Without any more testimony, I can't cross-examine. Not yet. The testimony's not over yet. What do you mean? Your Honor, just now you said something very interesting. You have cross-examined every statement the witness has made here today.
Yes, that's true, but
Unfortunately, Your Honor, you're forgetting something. Earlier, after the last cross-examination, this witness made a number of remarks.
Well now, Sir Lawyer, it seems that love wins out in the end after all. I am the ace detective, as well as Master Mosk. My verdict will verify that. Just as Ron Delights will verify that he is the true murderer. I declare that with the full force of my ace detectiveness. Yes, but it is comments appear to have no importance whatsoever.
Very well. Then we shall prove their importance via cross-examination. At any rate, as long as the witness has made these remarks, we, the defense, assert our right to question them. Is that all right with you, prosecutor?
Is something the matter, Mr. Govato?
18.
Oh, Sir Lawyer, it looks like you're one step too late. If you think such falsehood will do anything to me, look, let's hear it. Ha. It's true that the witness made some remarks. So then, let's hear this last bit of cross-examination. Mr. Gold, what?
Very well then, Mr. Luke ATMEY.
I'm going to allow the defense to cross-examine your earlier remarks.
The defense would like to hear why you declared the defendant to be the true murderer.
So please, give us one last bit of testimony.
Naruhodoku, this is it. This is our absolute last chance.
Yes, Chief.
Yeah, I'm pulling duty on this one. It's like almost 5 o'clock in the morning. I am pulling duty.
Indeed, it is true that I was not at Lowly Taylor. I had to leave to see about another vitally important job request. I had known about the dead beforehand, so I had this photograph ready. My brilliant deduction was what informed me that the true culprit was Ron Delight. And thanks to the keycard and wallet, it was abundantly clear that he was there. I was also able to make a deduction from the buzzer, which only sounded once. The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? The victim would have left prints if he sounded it, which means the killer sounded it. Mr. Delight was wearing... Mr. Delight was wearing his mouse-to-mouse outfit, which is why he is the prince. And the blackmail letter? The victim likely just mistook the color of the jewel. The name! Therefore, all the evidence points to that poor boy.
This testimony actually seems to hold up pretty well. The witness' earlier remarks do not appear to have been hastily prepared. All of his points have been explained, and none of them seem to contradict anything. But of course. But how did you know about the emergency buzzer?
The police investigation documents went directly through me. And I always look over all the documents. It's elementary, Sir Lawyer.
Are you going to make even more trouble for us now? Said Lawyer. I will not allow any of your usual shenanigans, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. We cannot postpone Luke ATMEY's trial any longer. This is your last chance.
Hang on a sec! Just one chance?
It seems that the party's about to begin.
Well, naruhodo. There isn't any evidence that contradicts with that testimony. So it seems. What do you mean, so it would seem?
Listen, naruhodo. Pointing out contradictions doesn't always mean you have to present evidence, does it? At any rate, this is our last chance. If you can't point out a case-breaking contradiction, you lose. That's all there is to it. 17, bitch. And a third. Cup number 17. It seems like the time has come to put an end to this trial. We have to find a fatal contradiction in this testimony.
And I need to point it out without presenting evidence. Which means all I can do is find the contradiction, remark, and press it. Remember, you only get one chance.
Very well then, Mr. Wright. Please begin your final cross-examination. I know where it is, and I'm going to count loud and proud to get to it. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Mr. ATMEY, about this... Mr. ATMEY, about this last remark.
Objection.
You still don't get it, do you, Wright? This isn't the time to be pressing the witness on every little statement.
I'm afraid you're the one who still doesn't get it, Mr. Godot.
What?
Mr. ATMEY, it seems you have finally admitted that you were in the CEO's office on the night of the murder.
How can you say that?
Let's review your testimony, shall we, Mr. ATMEY? The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? Mr. Delight was wearing his Master Maz outfit. Is that correct?
Indeed, that's what I said. My deductions are absolutely foolproof.
More likely your deductions prove that you're a fool.
I'm sorry. Whatever do you mean?
For some reason, I'm starting to get really thirsty. When exactly did we learn the fact that Ron Delight was dressed as Master Maz when he went to the scene of the crime?
That was, it was just a few hours ago. Back when my sixth cup was looking at me with a cold stare.
Dear Dowager Son.
Huh? Oh, did I forget to mention it before? I'm sorry. I just never had a chance to mention it up till now.
That's right. The defendant had yet to tell anyone else this fact before this morning. Therefore, the only people who should know this are those who have been watching this trial. understand now, Detective ATMEY.
There is no way that you should have known about that. You were in the next courtroom being tried as Master Mask. So then enlighten us. Just how did you know about this piece of information? Well,
Objection.
come on. This detective must have known about it. He probably had plenty of chances to find out beforehand. And it's those chances that I want to discuss next. That night, Mr. Delight was wearing his Master Mask outfit. There is one and only one way for Detective ATMEY to have found that out. Only one way, you say. Please recall, if you will, Mr. Delight's testimony. When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there.
For a second, my client witnessed the real killer.
Objection.
But Mr. Delight never saw his attacker. So, there's no way to tell whether or not the real attacker was Luke ATMEY. It's with that statement that I'll turn this case on its head. Just what are you implying?
Mr. Delight saw the real killer. Correct. Now, if you turn that statement around, it stands to reason that the real killer had also seen Ron Delight.
Impossible.
He saw Luke ATMEY.
Detective ATMEY, you saw Master Mask at the murder scene that night. You saw him when you killed Cain Ballard and assaulted Ron Delight. That was the only way you could have known what Ron was wearing. Take a good look, everyone! I am the biggest slaver! Unable to find a rival with him,
one by myself. Here I am, the tragic clown. I am the biggest slave house in all the land. That's the same line you gave yesterday. But I think there's a little more meaning behind it this time. Timing. Awfully complicated incident. Cain Bullard was blackmailing Luke ATMEY, who was in turn blackmailing Ron Delight. And upon killing his blackmailer, Luke ATMEY tried to frame Ron Delight. He then claimed to be guilty as Master Moss in order to escape his true crime. And to that end, he came up with this plan. To use the double jeopardy rule when making his alibi. At any rate, it would seem we finally found the truth. I came perishly close to besmirching the record of an innocent young man. Besmirching him with the title of murder. Oh. I didn't realize you were there. Why wouldn't he be?
About the verdict.
I know. You never committed any murder.
That's right. I'm so glad you understand that. But I help.
Dude, you need to get laid. Go home.
I really am the Master Boss. Oh, thanks to that trial yesterday, I'm innocent now, right? What was you said? Double jeopardy?
Ron, go. And now that you mention it, Ron, go home. I think careless. Ron, go home. Careless? What do you think, Mia?
As the defendant says, the rule of double jeopardy is absolute. A defendant can never be tried twice for a crime in which he was once found innocent.
Then Master Moss is really innocent?
It would seem so.
For now.
For now?
Now then, this court finds the defendant not guilty. Simply go pick up your husband, get him laid. Get him laid right now. This man needs to get laid. Do your job, woman. Fuck this man. Fuck this man, please.
Boy, this is really lucky. Wait, I...
Jump this boy's bone, please. Does he seize that man's bone?
This isn't so good after all. You see, the thing is, I still am master scriptor.
Go see that man's bones. Take him home. Fuck him until he is bone dry. Don't even let him up for a goddamn minute. He needs to get laid! This boy needs to get laid! That's the problem with him. He is too high-strung for his own good. I should know. I'm too high-strung for my own good. And people think I'm acting. I'm not really acting. Hell, I haven't been laid in years. Trust me, I haven't been laid in like fucking years. I understand. This man needs to go get laid. He needs to get his dick sucked. He probably needs to get 7 years off his balls. His balls probably just overloaded at this point. Goddamn. October 14th. You did it, Naruhodo. Thanks, Cheeto. It's been a long time, hasn't it? Yeah, it's because Maya doesn't call on me much these days. Oh? I'm just joking. Don't take everything so seriously. But on the other hand, Maya, she seems kind of torn these days. You mean about becoming the master of the Korean channeling technique? You mean about being the master of the Korean channeling school? Becoming the master means saying goodbye to our mother. Misty, right? Watch over her, will you, Naruto? Of course. Well then, see you around.
Mr. Wright! I don't know what to say.
Congratulations, Mr. Dwight. Now go get laid.
Thank you so much. No, wait.
Go get laid!
Nothing really matters anymore, so now that's all. This is happened. Come on! Just be happy already!
Go get laid! Maya.
You've been cleared of all the murder charges and got off that master boost. But in exchange, I lost everything. Huh? What do you mean? Stealing security information from KB Security, becoming Master Mouse. I did it all for one reason. For her.
You mean your wife, Desiree?
She hates criminals more than anything.
She was once held hostage by some robbers, wasn't she?
She always hates. She always said how she hated sneaking criminals. I knew that. But once I got fired from KB Security and lost all the money I had, she wouldn't have any reason to stay with me. I thought she would leave me for sure.
So, that's why you became Master Moss.
Yeah, but it's all over now. A broken bowl can never be put back together! But that's not true, right, Nick?
Right.
Really? Can we go back to the thing? Can we go back to the thing?
Can we go back to the thing? Yes, we can go back to the thing, please. Can we go back to the thing?
Really? Can we go back to the way things were? You'll be fine, and they can prove it.
I can't. I kind of wish you would check with me first. Mr. Delight, even if a bowl is broken, there is always a way to put it back together. There.
The sacred urn. Desi was the one who found this.
Desiree, your wife. She's always believed in you, Ron. That's why you'll be fine. You don't have to worry about anything.
Ah, there you are!
Miss Delight.
You did it, Ronnie. You're innocent. I'm so happy. Thank you. I appreciate that. But, I suppose you don't want anything more to do with me, do you? Ronnie, why didn't you talk to me about what was going on? I had no idea you'd quit KB Security. I never imagined that you were really Master Mosk either. Mr. White, what are you going to do now that you know? You're not going to really leave him, are you? Come on. It's obvious, isn't it? I'm going to fuck his brains out. How could I ever let a wonderful man like him get away?
Same thing my girlfriend says about me. I love you too, Max.
After all, my bike's really fast. So fast that there's no way he could ever get away.
But didn't you say that you hated criminals?
Oh! I only hate people who act all cowardly and sneaky. Like that detective.
I see.
My Ronnie went and declared his crimes before he committed them. Like a man. I just love a man who's so chivalrous. Chivalrous. I knew I was right about you. Every day I spend with you is filled with thrills and excitement. Desi.
Desiree, you really do love Ron, don't you?
Nicky boy.
Yes?
I'm really glad I asked you to defend my Ronnie. Thank you so much. I'll never forget what you've done for us.
Oh, well, take care of yourself. You too, Nicky boy. I can feel my face going hard. Mr. Dad! Mr. Clark, congratulations! Oh, God, no. God, no. Oh, God, no. Talk about retiring. Ah! Ah! Another bitch, what? Ah! It's not a bitch, no! No! You got it all wrong! No, don't forget me! Oh, never! No! Ever! No! What the fuck is wrong with you, girl?
So, just as the case came to a close, so too did my consciousness. What'd she do to him? Sure you get his ass? Ron said, a broken bowl can never be put back together. But I know that's not true. I mean, just look. Here's a perfect example of one that was put back together, even better than before. And that's the end of that case. And that means we've unlocked number 3. Recipe for turnabout. So that means a brand new episode has been added. And I'm saving and ending this part. And in the next part, we are going to start up episode 3. The recipe for turnabout. So stay tuned when we start up episode 3, recipe for turnabout, right after this. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.